Hogwarts Legacy is a game that I have been hoping for a long time. I've always been a huge fan of the Harry Potter video games. I love the GameCube games, the Game Boy Color games are amazing, and don't even get me started on the PC games. Those things were my entire childhood. I could make a whole video on those alone. But as the games went on, they started to kind of lose their charm, their magic, if you will, and go down a path that I wasn't personally a huge fan of. However, even still, I've been hoping for a new Harry Potter game that'll bring back some of the magic of those old games. And honestly, I kinda think it's coming. Hogwarts Legacy was announced back in September of 2020, and it was supposed to be released this year in 2021. I was actually going to put it in my most anticipated games list of 2021 video earlier this year, but just as I was finishing the script for that video, it was announced that Hogwarts Legacy was delayed to 2022. Not a problem though, because as much as I can't wait for this game to come out, I want this to be as great as it can be, because if this game is able to capture even a small bit of the charm and fun of the old games, then it'll definitely be worth the wait. Since we have the time though, and since we haven't really learned much since its announcement, I thought I would make a video about what I'm hoping for when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy. Real quick though, the things we do know about this game. First of all, it's going to be an open world action RPG set in Hogwarts in the late 1800s, well before Harry Potter's story. We'll be playing as our own character who got their Hogwarts letter late, and later on realizes that they have a special ability to wield and master ancient magic. And what you decide to do with it is ultimately up to you. We've gotten a few other details, like the fact that we'll be able to pick our own Hogwarts house at the start. The Forbidden Forest and Hogsmeade looks like there'll be areas we can go to in this game. You know, little things like that. However, because we don't know a ton about this game, it's led me to start hoping and wishing for quite a few things. The first thing being about the open world. I really hope that this open world is huge. I want to be able to explore the entire castle, you know, all the grounds. I want to see a ton of the iconic places I know and love from this world, and just take the time to walk around in them. However, just like the old games in the series, I want this world to be filled with secrets and things to collect. And I want there to be certain things you can't get to unless you learn certain spells or obtain certain items first. I want to be able to walk through the castle, find a hidden passage, and go, oh, that door is covered in, covered in vines. I'll have to remember this and come back to it when I learn the right spell. You know, I want to feel the progression, not just from a battling or dueling perspective, but from an exploration perspective too. This one isn't a reach at all, of course. With an open world, there are going to be secrets to hide, especially when we're talking about Hogwarts. Next thing kinda ties into the same point of progression though. I would like skill trees in this game. I understand that people are tired of both open worlds and skill trees, but I'm kind of not. I love them both, and I think skill trees would be really cool for this game, especially because of the ancient magic our character will apparently be able to wield. Maybe there can be different skill trees for that ancient magic, and you need to do something special or learn in a special way to be able to unlock them. And then the rest of our magic, you know, like the classic spells we all know and love, can be learned in our classes through the main story. I think that would be really cool to split the two up like that, because if it's ancient magic that we're special for being able to use, then we'll probably be learning it in a non-traditional way, so give the skill trees to that magic, and then have us learn our classic spells in the school. I think it'll be cool, but we'll have to wait and see how it all works out. Since I brought up the ancient magic thing though, our character is going to be special. We got our letter to Hogwarts late, and we're showing up with this powerful magic that not many others are going to be able to do. That's cool, but it's the late Hogwarts letter thing for me. I really hope they do that right, because we're going to be behind on classes and magic, and I really hope it's not all just dumped on our laps and we just, you know, it's like, hey, you haven't been here for the last whatever years, here's all the spells you missed, you learned them, you're a wizard now. I hope they have a nice, natural way for us to learn the important stuff we missed without it feeling like it was just dumped on us, and we just know it now, like that's it. But when it comes to learning magic, I hope it's fun. I really do. I want there to be mini-games associated with learning spells and brewing potions like in past games. Maybe objectives you have to complete with the spells you're learning, like the Lego Harry Potter games do. But honestly, there's really nothing worse than a game having a bad minigame in it, especially when you have to do them and they're required. So I really hope it's fun to learn magic like it really should be. Next up is Quidditch. Quidditch is such a huge part of the wizarding world, and it's such a fun sport not only to watch, but also to play in a lot of the older Harry Potter games. We know Quidditch is going to be in this game. It really has to. I mean, it's a Harry Potter game. I'm just saying this now, though. With how pretty this game looks from the trailer alone, if they manage to make the controls for Quidditch feel good and responsive and make it feel super fast-paced, this is going to be amazing and I will never stop playing. Seriously, I don't know what threat we're dealing with in this game and its story, but someone else is going to have to be the hero. I'm going to be busy. I'm not even joking. Someone else do it. I'm playing Quidditch all day. Which reminds me, the broomstick. I want to be able to fly around freely outside of Quidditch matches on my broomstick. I want to fly around the castle. In the Chamber of Secrets for the GameCube, you can do this. You can fly around the castle and there are hidden NPCs high up who have minigames for you. There are also rings you can fly through that'll give you Birdie Bots every flavored beans, which is the currency in that game. It's really cool. But you are limited to where you can go. It's not open world, which means that there's not a ton to interact with or see, and there are loading screens to get to other areas. With Hogwarts Legacy being open world and the game being on consoles like the PS5 though, I want to be able to fly around the open world so badly and have a bunch of stuff to find and collect while I'm doing it. You know, the consoles are capable of it now. It would be a lot of fun. I mentioned Birdie Bots every flavored beans being the currency in an old game. I mean, it is in like almost all the games. But I hope that it comes back and we have a currency again. It could be something else, I guess, like the actual wizarding currency. I don't know, I like the beans, they're funny. Regardless though, I want to be able to buy stuff from other students, or you know, shops in Hogsmeade. I want to be able to buy fun stuff that we know from the world that can actually help us on our journey. Or you know, stuff that's just used for fun. Speaking of buying things though, this is a big one for me. Just about every Harry Potter game has them, you can buy them, but you mostly find them. I want to collect wizard cards again. Buy them, find them hidden throughout the castle, I want to collect them and get rewarded for doing it. In the Chamber of Secrets for the PC, when you collect a certain number of wizard cards, you get extra health. Your health's upgraded, and it's awesome. I love having a huge incentive like that to go after collectibles. And getting the wizard cards, even just reading them, learning about famous witches and wizards throughout history, it was a blast. I always enjoyed it. So I definitely want to see that here. Something interesting I thought was that the trailer talks about magical creatures at one point. You know, taming fantastic beasts, as it says. And then it shows the player feeding some of them and petting one. I would love for that to become more than just a classroom thing or a one-time thing. I want to be able to learn about a bunch of the fantastic beasts roaming the grounds of Hogwarts and the Dark Forest. And to be able to tame them all, feed them specific things, maybe even be able to have them help with certain things in the game. Or be able to use them to fly, like a hippogriff. If that were the case, then it would work just like the brooms, which would make the free-flying broom idea work even more. If we were to get a bunch of different mounts to do that with, that'd be awesome. I want to tame a bunch of the fantastic beasts and learn about them, maybe even fill out a book of them and get all kinds of information on each one. Kinda like when you collect the wizard cards. Now, I'm not too worried about the story of the game at this moment. Once we know a little more about that, then it'll be easier to speculate and talk about, but I do hope that it's not too short, and that it ties into the world nicely. That's really all I'm hoping for the story. Other than that though, I think that's about it. There are a ton of little things of course, like being able to see important ghosts, how all the common rooms look, main characters other than yourself getting involved, controls, you know, all that good stuff. But the main points I hit on are the ones I'm hoping for the most and are the most important to me. I think we'll definitely be seeing a lot of what I said here today in one way or another, which makes me super excited. But I did want to share my list with all of you anyway, and ask you, what are you hoping for when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy? Are you hoping for something I didn't list here? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to let me know what Hogwarts house you're going to be in as well, and I'll see you in the next one.